Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Nigerian military rescues 200 girls and 93 women from Sambisa forest. 4 Nigerians have been executed by firing squad in Indonesia for drug offences. Senate passes 2015 budget, appropriates 4.9 trillion naira for the fiscal year. Death toll from Nepal's earthquake exceeds 5,000 as the United Nations estimates that about 8 million people may have been affected.
In business news tonight, equities remain the most favoured instrument in the Nigerian stock market.
On sports news, the draw ceremony for this year's Men and Women Federation Cup competition set to hold in Abuja on Thursday.
We begin with some good news tonight coming from the military that 200 girls and 93 women have been rescued from Sambisa forest in Borno State. The Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, says the girls were rescued after a series of bombardments chasing away the insurgents who had occupied the forest. Now, although General Olukolade would not confirm if the girls rescued were the ones abducted by Boko Haram in April last year, he says they're already being evaluated to determine their exact identity. Well, some moments ago, my colleague Charles Zaruka spoke with General Olukolade on the telephone. He started by asking him to confirm the rescue of the girls. Much later, in the meantime, earlier in the year, our correspondent Sheo Okimbaloye visited Sambisa forest in Borno State. During the aerial surveillance, the military showed journalists some of the hideouts of the insurgents. Well, recently, the Nigerian military stepped up operations against the insurgents in the northeastern part of the country with an appreciable degree of success. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, accompanied the troops ahead of one of their missions aimed at storming the insurgents' strongholds.
For some weeks now, it's been news of resounding victories for the Nigerian military as they reclaim towns previously captured by members of the Boko Haram sect. This was a chance to see the present condition of some of the communities. In Hong, Adamawa State, life is coming back to normal. In this school, students are glad to be back to their classrooms.
Okay,
but yanzu ba kwa tsoro wai wani abu zai faru kuma?
A'a ba ma tsoro don sojoji suna kusa da mu kawai.
Okay.
So ba ma tsoro.
Commercial activities appears to be returning to normal in this market. Things are slightly different in Mubi. A few residents have returned to the town. The Emir appeals for residents to come back home.
So I will plead to the people of Mubi to come back home so that we develop Mubi more than ever before. Mubi is now in peace, so everybody should come back. As I said when the president came, I have come back and I will not go anywhere, only on official assignments.
Michika is still deserted, even though some people were seen returning. Residents of Gujba and Buniyadi in Yobe State are yet to return, but troops were stationed there. In Borno State, the towns are not deserted. So right now we're going through Baga town. We have been taken to see some of the devastation that has occurred here, and it's really been a very unsettling tale. The stench is still very high here. We saw some bodies on our way here too, but we're still going through to see most of the town.
Well, the situation, I thank God for my Nigeria Army and everybody's support here. We thank God for everything that's happened, but we are in incredible problem here now because no food for almost 2-3 days. No food? Yes, sir. This is where we cook to our people, and all the women, old women, children, they're all left now to their various houses, sir.
The challenge ahead now is the rehabilitation of the communities that have been destroyed by the terrorists, and we trust the civil authorities to speed up the process of people coming back to their homes and resuming their work. By the way, you recall that the essence of the present operation is for the military to work hard and ensure that normal socio-economic activities are restored, and substantially the aspect concerning the military has been accomplished, but we still believe that the input of the civil authorities to make the people return to their homes is very vital.
It's clear a lot needs to be done to give people confidence to return to their homes. The government will have to play its role to build on the victories being achieved by the military. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
This story is, of course, centered on our major story tonight, which is that the military has rescued 200 girls and 93 women from Sambisa forest. Moments ago, my colleague Charles Eruka spoke with Major General Chris Olukolade, the military defense spokesperson. He started by asking him to confirm the rescue of the girls.
That is true. 200 of them. Then elderly ones among them, 93. Mainly children, college children. And at the moment they are being screened. It is when we are through with the screening before we can say categorically what their background is. The operation is to clear the entire forest and all of that hideouts of terrorists and remove every camps. And that's what took place today. The troops have been advancing into the forest from different angles. The mission even still continuing, it's not over. But we are just giving an update that this afternoon, a portion of the forest, and, three camps have been cleared, and in the process, these children and women were rescued.
We've had stories about the very difficult terrain in that area. How has the military been able to take care of that initial problem?
In a skillful and careful manner, the troops have been everything to either scale the obstacles or remove them, particularly the mines, and that is progressing. The entire mission, like I said, is concentrating on the whole forest from every angle and every direction. It is continuing, it is not over until all the identified terrorist camps in that forest are cleared. So far, we've taken out only 3.
What is the extent of the involvement of our African neighbors? That's the troops from Chad, Cameroon, and Niger. What's the extent of their involvement?
Exclusively a Nigerian operation at the moment. We have always made it very clear that the involvement in particular is to watch the other side of the borders and the liberty we have both to engage in cross-border pursuits in case terrorists are running across our colleagues. They are not to ensure that they don't get to their direction and go free.
That was the conversation between the military defense spokesperson, Major General Chris Olukolade, and Charles Eruka. Joining me now from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, via telephone is the convener of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. Dr. Obi, you've received news of the rescue of some of the girls from Sambisa Forest, although the military is yet to confirm whether they are the Chibok schoolgirls. Does this give you hope?
Enormous hope. It gives us enormous hope. You know that many other times our hope soared based on news of rescue. You would think that, you know, that experience or those experiences would reduce the kind of hope we would have at this time. But they haven't. They haven't at all. We are so hopeful that this news will be for real and that indeed our Chibok girls would be rescued through this operation. But for me and for many Nigerians, I think that just knowing that 200 young women and 93 women who were captives of that took hold of her rescued today is more than a great news at this particular time. It would be a greater bonus to know that amongst these women, amongst these girls are our Chibok girls. So we're really holding on to hope. Our hearts are palpitating. It is really bursting with hope.
Dr. Ezekwesili, I know you've had a lot of contacts with the girls' families. Many of them in the past have blamed the federal government for not doing enough. But receiving this news, even though it is yet to be confirmed, have you spoken with any of the families? Have they said what they're thinking or what their thoughts are or how relieved they are, you know, hoping that these are the Chibok girls?
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, before the call from you, I was speaking to one of the key members of the Association of Parents, and he's going to proceed on a journey back toward Chibok tomorrow. He's excited at this news, but as you would know, having had to suffer disappointments in the past, he's hopeful with plenty of trepidation, and so they are very, very interested in seeing that this becomes reality. And I believe that this must be the prayer of all Nigerians for these parents. And, for all the people that are held in captivity, we really do pray that ultimately there won't be anyone that is captive of terrorists in our land.
Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, thank you for joining us on the news at 10. Of course, everyone is hopeful the military carries out the evaluations as soon as possible and our figures are crossed that they are the Chibok schoolgirls. Dr. Obi Ezekwesili is the convener of the Bring Back Our Girls campaigns. They've been campaigning ever since the girls were abducted. In part 2, after the break, Imo State's governor embarks on roadshow, thanks Imo people for re-electing him. Please stay with us.